and Soul Drum Academy. She is a teacher. She is a driver. She's a snack developer. She is everything. And I am very excited to introduce to you my friend, Miss Bonita Buckner. Welcome, Miss Bonita.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you all hear me? I'm not really sure how this works. Okay, good. I appreciate your kind introduction. I call her Grandma Lynn, so I won't change. She's been a grandmother to all of our scholars that are in Heart and Soul Drum Academy. She's been a rock for me as well. And she's a good friend. She supports us whether Elijah is there or not. She's here for Friendship Academy and Heart and Soul Drum Academy. And thank you so much for that. And I am really honored to be here tonight. And I'm grateful for the invite. And so thank you for allowing me to join your meeting tonight. I'm a script speaker, so if it looks like I'm looking off somewhere, I'm looking at my notes. Okay. It's a joy actually for me to talk about something that is just so intrinsic to my life, and that's Imani, which we also call faith. And dealing with the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, or the Nguzo Saba, on the last day of Kwanzaa, we light that final candle and we celebrate Imani. And that means that we are honoring our best traditions as a family and community. And we look within and above to strive for a higher level of spirituality and a better life for ourselves and for those around us. So Imani affirms our worth and helps to give us the confidence that we can overcome struggles. So I took that quote from the website of the One United Bank. As some of you may be familiar, but the One United Bank is a financial institution that seeks to bring monetary empowerment to people of color. But I like that quote, or rather I love it, because it speaks to my heart to encourage me to believe for more and or greater, and it reminds me that I am connected to others. I'm not out here by myself, and this is why Grandma Lynn asked me here to speak to all of you, or to speak with all of you, because I'm going to have some interaction. I don't like just talking to people. I like to have discussions. Okay. So we're here to encourage each other, to inspire, and to ignite the heart and the mind, and to take hold together that we are stronger. And Dr. Russell brought this up, and I love it ever since I heard it. Together we are stronger and we are better. So I am excited about being asked to share about Imani. And I was so excited that I actually prepared a speech about a month ago. But after looking at it and going back, I decided that I really wanted to align myself more with the root of what Kwanzaa expresses faith to be. And then to tie that all together with hopes that it will be a collective effort by the time that I'm finished here this evening. So the 7th principle of Imani means to believe with all our heart in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. To believe with all our heart in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. To examine that more fully, to believe with the whole heart in oneself and others is first to find the commonality that unites all of us. And according to the principle, faith is a positive action to adhere to what is good, what is right, and what is beautiful. And so most people would assign those attributes to a divine creator, something or someone larger than ourselves. By agreeing that a supernatural power is the source of good, the source of righteousness, and the source of beauty, we come into unity, which establishes a foundation for our faith. Next, people usually agree that the divine creator is within each of us, and therefore the capacity to do good, to do right, and to be beautiful resides within us. Because the attributes of the divine reside within all of us, it becomes easy to believe in one another, our people, our parents, our teachers, and leaders. And the goal of believing in other people who have the same divinity within themselves as we have is to work toward righteousness and victory in our struggle. So, what is the struggle? Struggle may be many things, from the simplest of getting out of bed for some people to something more complex, such as our work environment, making a way to feed and clothe our children, taking care of transportation needs, managing various family schedules, trying to show up and then be present in our civic, our cultural, or our religious events. For some, it's managing the finances between essentials, between wants, and savings. It's working on being healthy so that we have longevity for ourselves and the ones we love. There are so many daily struggles that sometimes it overwhelms us to consider the larger issues of the struggles of humanity out of what is happening to our world on the whole. And Imani reminds us that we must commit ourselves to the struggle at large. The struggle of violence, be it police, domestic, or racist, the struggle of voting rights, the struggle of inequitable resources, the struggle of global warming, and the threat of the loss of democracy. And it goes on and on. So, how does Imani accomplish that for us? I find that faith gives us purpose for living. Faith causes us to live in community with others, and quite frankly, personally, faith helps me to stay sane. When I look around at all the chaos of life, faith, or another word for faith would be hope, actually keeps me grounded. So faith brings a peace that helps me to believe in my Creator God, helps me to believe in myself, helps me to believe in others, and in the purpose of life. It establishes balance and it creates harmony. It promotes prosperity. It promotes good welfare and gives tranquility. So, are those values something that cause communities to thrive together, for us to thrive together? So, I need to hear some yeses or see some nods or something because now I'm going to start communicating. Okay. So, I actually broke the word community into two parts: common, thank you, Miss Joe, common and unity. And that's actually where this talk started, right? Commonality to unite. So here's where I need some feedback. Can someone give me some things that unite us in community? Just kind of throw out some things that unite us in our community.
I'll throw out what's happening with the teacher strike. It brings attention to what the teachers are struggling with. A lot of times we take for granted people's jobs and they just show up to go to work. But you don't know what that struggle really is until people bring out them issues as a group, not as an individual. So it unites the community to say, hey, we have a problem here. We have an issue. You know, whether it's any organization or profession that's underpaid, how do you get attention? Unfortunately, it takes picketing and strikes, you know, and I can speak broadly on that because I was vice president of the largest healthcare union, state of Minnesota. I've been out there leading strikes. I've been in 20 below temperature at a clinic, walking around like, did I choose the right profession? But it goes to show you that the everyday struggles that people go through, sometimes we just take for granted people just show up and don't know the stress that comes with that And then them at the end of the day leaving and knowing that they're underpaid or they're dealing with these different issues and then still have to go home and run a family. You know, so the community has to come together and say, you're not alone. You're not by yourself, because I go through them same struggles. Mm-hmm. And until it's talked about broadly and sometimes put out there on the news, in the news, and bring this to people's attention, sometimes that's the only action you get is by being proactive and not reactive. So that's what it is.
I missed part of it, but I think what I can deduce is that you were saying coming together to protest certain things, or having a voice, having a collective voice, and knowing and telling people, hey, I'm out here with you. I'm going through this thing. Also, we're not alone.
Yes.
Did I get that right? Okay.
Yeah. Well, in the beginning, I was saying the teacher strike, even though it may seem like a bad thing, is actually a good thing, because it helps us into their world to know that the issues are going on. And now we can be proactive. You know, you talk about a $9.2 billion government surplus. Well, let's allocate some of that money over into the school systems. And then we can talk more about the teachers and staff and, you know, giving a better place where you can go to work with your head high and your shoulders squared and say, okay, now let's get to work because you feel appreciated.
So in other words, supporting others who are going through struggles. Yes. Anyone else?
I was actually going to throw out schools, because you were saying things that folks have in common and things that could unify. I think of all of us being even on this call. We're all here in relationship to, at its core, the school that our kids attend, or where we work, or where we support. So I was actually going to throw out that word, schools.
I did not pay Mr. Hopkins, I want y'all to know. But I wrote down some things in case anybody didn't feel like sharing. But I've written down things that we have in common. We're all parents, right? And our children attend Friendship Academy of the Arts. There we go with schools. And we all want our children to succeed at Friendship Academy and beyond. So we make the necessary sacrifices. Some of those sacrifices are being out there to help other school teachers strike. Because people who are at Friendship Academy and people who are in St. Paul Public Schools, they're going to meet up together at some point. Friendship for now goes to 8th grade. I know where Dr. Russell's working on the K through 12, but it goes up to 8th grade. And some of those students now live in St. Paul. Eventually, they'll be in that environment. So I know Dr. Martin Luther King wrote, I'm just going to say a little part of it, but because it's a large quote, but basically we're caught up in a interconnectedness, and I might not get it exactly right, but a mutual network, right? And so what affects one indirect or directly will eventually affect others indirectly. I think another thing that we have in common, it might not look exactly the same, but maybe it's a faith in God, or a faith in a higher power, or a supernatural being, or something that is out there that's higher or greater than we are. So it might not be the same belief, but there is a faith in something greater than we are. Those are things that connect us. So those things are foundations for Imani, supporting other people who are going through. We are connected by going through the same schools. We're connected by all being parents. We're connected by wanting the best for children while they're in this school system and beyond that. And we're connected. Some are connected by faith. So those things they're actually individual actions that we have taken to move us into community or common unity. And it characterizes our faith in people. So it's not only the faith that we have in something supernatural, but coming together, we're now expressing that we have a faith in people. So sorry. I'm also a Bible study teacher, so that was my warning. So now I want to ask, what are some actions that help us maintain our Imani Foundation. And this would be, what would it take to maintain this commonality that we've talked about so far together? And it also should reflect our faith in the struggle at large. So maybe if we could name one or two things that help us maintain the foundation of commonality that we talked about, but also moves us toward the struggle at large.
Miss Bonita, I think that the way that the world is responding to this aggression by Russia is an expression of faith. That so many countries and organizations and individuals are saying this is not right, and are working cooperatively and collectively to try to support the people. I think that that is Imani at its core.
Definitely. I agree with you. Anyone else?
For me, what I was gravitating toward when I was hearing that was sort of this mutual respect for one another, you know, to be able to listen to one another. You're not going to agree 100% all the time, but where the common goal becomes bigger than maybe your own individual things of that nature. So that's what I was kind of thinking.
Exactly. When Imani talks about faith in people, the next part, as we talked about, the struggle at large. So what you just said is, for both of you, is exactly what the principle is really talking about and promoting. And kind of in line with what you both said, I was thinking actually something you said too, Mr. Davis. The old adage, if you see something, say something. And then I was, my dad also put into it, if you see something, say something or do something. You know, don't just let injustice pass by you like it has a right to exist, because it doesn't. You know, and Martin Luther King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So we have this collective responsibility, and we also have an individual responsibility to respond to the things that we see, just like Grandma said, the society at large responding to the aggression that Russia is actually doing. Mr. Davis, people getting out and supporting the St. Paul teachers who are asking for, you know, righteous pay, okay? Just means in how they're being asked to conduct themselves in the classroom. So something else I thought about is something that, you know, comes from my family or my elders. And we were required to think. So it says, what if we think and teach that if it makes a process better or simpler and it's not invented, create it. And if you didn't create it, fund it. And if you can't fund it, share it. Tell the good news. Be a part of something that is progressively happening. So what that does is it creates space for others to do better. And we have examples like George Washington Carver, Mary McLeod Bethune, Martha Collins, Madam C.J. Walker, and Friendship Academy of the Arts. That's why we're all here. Each one of those people and that organization is making space for people to do better. So those things are what we can do for what is at large. And so with our commonality and our actions to maintain Imani, we must make a commitment toward righteousness and victory in the struggle. And that actually requires action from us as well, because it's an ongoing work to the end. And so the best way for us to do that is to form habits that become a lifestyle, right? Because I believe faith is a lifestyle. And Grandma Lynn says that she sees that. And so I'm grateful for that. But faith is a lifestyle. So Imani is a lifestyle. So I actually have some homework. I think we have more teachers here than we do parents. But I just wanted to suggest that for the next 21 days, can we commit to performing at least one of the actions that we named earlier? And then after that, take the next 21 days and then do that second action. So now you've got 42 days of a lifestyle forming, okay? And I believe personally, faith without works is dead. So you can believe something, but you got to put your feet to it to do something. And then that actually helps to bring the struggle about. Not actually bring the struggle about, but bring the victory to overcome the struggle. So as those two things become a faith lifestyle for us, we can also add to them and create new pathways for ourselves so that we can serve our world better and serve Friendship Academy better. So I believe that this is the purpose of Imani and the Nguzo Sabo, which encompasses Kwanzaa. So I hope this has been informative for you. I hope that you're going to take something away from here, from our discussion. I thank you for it. And I hope that you remember that faith, or Imani, gives life. It brings life. It gives us purpose. And together we make life meaningful, we make life peaceful, and we make life victorious by doing the work to overcome our struggle, be that individual or collective. And I think I'm probably out of time.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
That's
so
beautiful.
I thank you for that.
Miss Bonita.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to clarify in the chat for everyone what your challenge is. So it's 21 days.
Yes, the 21 days is, we talked about actions to help the struggle at large. So Mr. Hopkins and Grandma Lynn talked about helping at large, people coming to society and seeing wrongs and doing their part to say that should not exist. So like we see injustice happening right here in Minneapolis and St. Paul, right? And Mr. Davis gave an example, the St. Paul teacher strike. Get out and help. If you can't get out and help, support what they're doing. Take somebody a coffee. Take someone a meal while they're out there in the cold, a hot chocolate. Those are things that we can do. Very simple things, but they move along the struggle that someone is in. So those are, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. And then the second half, 21 days.
Okay. And then the second 21 days is, if we see something that's going to make life better or simpler, create it. If you can't create it, fund it. If you can't fund it, share it. Share the news about what's happening. Every time we go out to perform, Miss Jo gives me a stack of postcards for Friendship Academy. Hey, can you take these out and let people know that we are having students enroll? Yes. That's our part.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So at this time, we appreciate that lesson. That was awesome.
Yes.
And history is, I love history, and I'm a faith man too. So appreciate faith without works is dead. That's what the good book says.
Yes.
So at this time, we're going to pass this to Ms. Clevin so she can introduce for the last 10, 12 minutes our next speaker.
Yes, thank you for coming and speaking, Miss Bonita. We appreciate it.
Yes.
Mr. Hopkins will be speaking next. We have seen him at the past family engagement meetings, and he is father of one of the students at our school, and he's also the executive director of Youth and Family Mentoring Services. So we are going to hear from him today. I was told what about, but I'm going to let him tell us because it's slipping my mind at this minute.
Oh, that's not a problem. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes.
Okay. So, not wanting to go over, I'm going to kind of jump in quickly. Mr. Davis had actually emailed me or texted me earlier, and he was asking to, what is the service and who is Youth and Family Mentoring Service. So I'm going to speak about that rather quickly, and then I'm going to move on. What I wanted to share with the families and even the parents and even the teachers is that now is the time of the year that we should be thinking about what our kids are going to be engaging in the summer, right? Because now is when a lot of these different opportunities, you have to sign up, you have to submit information in terms of trying to get different scholarships, et cetera, et cetera. So, but very quickly, can you guys see my screen? You're able to see
Yes, we
the screen?
can. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So who is Youth and Family Mentoring Services? Basically, we established in about 2010 to provide quality entire family engagement. The whole concept of youth and family mentoring came about because we saw a bunch of models that either was working with kids or they were working with the parents. So we started thinking of ways of how do we support that entire unit. And so youth and family mentoring, that helped leads to engage parents and youth more invested in their own academic and life success, right? By me being a parent, academics is extremely important, education, but also getting our young people to understand about life success. Earlier, we were talking about, maybe things that kids are doing because of the internet or social media. And those are kind of like character things and things that can derail them from life success. So we were thinking, how do we engage in areas that also include life, right? We're a qualified professional team. We usually operate through group mentoring processes. We found that engaging the entire family ensures better results. They're able to support each other on an individual and a family level. We learned that by allowing people to be part of the process, that leads to self-actualization, ownership, accountability, and growth. We have a core belief in people that they are powerful and want to be the best that they can be. We go about helping facilitate that by creating a space where they could gain those tools and skills to act in their own best interest. A lot of times programs tend to think that they're the reason that people are being successful. I personally don't believe that. I believe that people know what their needs are, and they just need a space to be able to create that, and they need a space to be able to kind of gain some of those kind of tools and skill sets. That's what I believe. Our track record in the Twin Cities community and school districts bear witness to effective our services. Just some of the past clients we've had include different type of charter schools, public schools, different type of youth serving organizations, et cetera. Those are areas that we have engaged in. We distinguish by our reliance on delivering services that are customized and responsive to the needs of that organization or community groups are facing. We don't believe in a one size fit all. Everybody is different. Every community is different. Every program is different. So we tend to engage from that sort of a perspective. And we also design our engagement in partnership with the organization. A lot of times people would just parachute in and then sort of give what they kind of think, right? As opposed to talking with those people, really finding out from them what is their needs and what should a partnership or what should they be engaging in. Also, when you're doing that, when you're including people as being part of the process, you're going to get more buy-in because they have a say in actually what is happening. We've had successful collaborations with different types of human service, educational organizations, including just some of the following: Goodwill, Easter Seals, University of Minnesota, Sam Simmons, different consulting. He's a trauma specialist from the north side of Minneapolis. So some of those are some of the different places that we've engaged in. We engage families to improve their capacity for self-advocacy. I think that's even what, as part of Friendship Academy, is about, getting parents and people to understand how do they advocate for themselves, right? They have to be the voice who bring that to the table. Again, when things are done for you and you're not actually doing it, when that person who's doing it for you goes away, you revert back to the things that you were not doing. So self-advocacy is something that we really push about. Help family overcome different kind of generational barriers to educational advancement as they empower their stakeholders and owners of their families and child's life and educational trajectory. What we're talking about here is where families, you hear people talk about generational trauma and different things like that. So generational barriers that can get in the way of us doing what's right for our kids, helping them and doing different things like that. We make the tools for navigating system accessibilities to families. We facilitate connections that despair fear and frustration. A lot of times our families aren't engaging because it is this fear or the unknown, or it's just frustration with dealing with these different type of systems, these big systems that are in place. And we empower families with information. At the end of the day, information is a lot of things that our families are lacking. Therefore, they're not able to make those proper decisions as it relates to continuing engagement in their child's life and education, different things like that. Historically, we work with community-based organizations, school systems designed to more deeply engage either parents of middle school and high school age youth or the students themselves. No one operates in isolation, and the keys to success in life and facilitating meaningful attachment and experiencement for empowerment for the whole family. Again, our approach is how do we engage with the entire family. We're also from these communities. Again, it's not like we just dropped in, so we're staked in these challenges personally as well. Our kids go to the same schools. Our kids live in the same communities. Our kids face the same different type of issues on a daily. I'm just trying to go through this because I see we're getting pretty close to the time, to 7. We operate through monthly workshops, bi-weekly small groups, mentoring, coaching, different type of services we offer for schools, community-based organizations, etc. Again, one of the things that I did want to briefly touch on, summer 22, a lot of times our family wait until the last minute to try to get their kids engaged in different things for the summer. We all know about the dreaded summer slide and those type of things. So what I wanted to share with you guys was just some quick resources. I can share this out to the group, but some different type of resources that you might want to look into getting your kid into. A lot of these opportunities are 100% free. Some of these opportunities, there is scholarship money that is available, so there would be something that you need to fill out. But it's more to start getting our parents and families and our teachers, because teachers, you can share this information with families. You can start talking to them about, hey, what are some things that we might want to engage little junior in for the summer that will help with this reading? So is it some literacy camps we could get them in? What are some fun activities that we could get our kids in? Because a lot of times we don't want everything to be presented in sort of this education package. There's learning through all types of ways to be able to do that. So a couple of things in the programs that I'm going to be speaking of. over the years, we've sent families to these particular places, so they are vetted through us. So we are able to sort of speak to the fact that they are culturally relevant. They understand the kids that they're going to be working with and dealing with. And so I think those things are extremely important. There's the St. Cloud State University Math, Science, and Computer Camp. These are residencies programs, meaning that the kids actually stay on the campus. These particular programs, it starts with third graders. So another cool thing about these type of programs is to start getting our kids understanding and the relationship to college, right? They actually stay in a campus dorm. They actually are chaperone. There's all these things that go into it. Again, really super great program. It was actually put together by a brother who was the actual president at one point up in St. Cloud State, and he actually went to school there. It was a way that he saw that they could start giving back to community. The purpose is designed is to expose students from underrepresented groups to science, math, and computers in fun and innovative ways, while specially designed for students of colors and girls. All students are welcome to participate. Again, a 5-day residential program. All of the things that they would need is provided for them to engage inside of this. Kind of talks about some of the eligibility. Again, cost can range anywhere from $0 to $300, but they do have scholarships that you can apply for. And I would greatly encourage you to do that. Again, the St. Cloud State Pipeline Program. Very quickly, the Minnesota Academy of Science, they have a full STEM program for students. Again, free and or low cost. These are summer opportunities. You can apply for a $1,000 grant, et cetera, et cetera. All types of different things that folks can engage in. The main focus is that a lot of these are specifically designed for our kids, okay? Kids of color, kids who have interest in these areas, but they just need some more push into those arenas. A lot of these things are designed for our young girls of color in particular. There's always, you hear this push of trying to get girls into STEM engagement. So these are just a whole plethora, a whole list of different things that young folks can get involved in as it relates to STEM engagement. Again, this is happening with the Minnesota Academy of Science, as well as there's some opportunities just trying, all this list is everything that they offer. There also is some things that is being offered in relationship to tutoring, free high quality group tutoring and private tutoring. This is also available for our young people. Different type of STEM competition, leagues, symposiums, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the point is that there is a number of things that we could get our kids into versus them sort of kind of sitting around doing nothing and unfortunately getting caught up in that whole summer slide. We also should think of summer as a time of getting our kids into things that is new to them, right? Giving them some new challenges. Schools tend to be very structured and they have kind of, here's where we go from A to Z and this is what we do. Whereas in the summer, encourage your child to try something different, right? Encourage them to try maybe some different activities and or programs that they traditionally might not be doing. There's also some things that is offered through the Best Buy Teen Tech Centers. I don't know if you guys know, but they're kind of in different communities now. Those are free spaces as well. They offer everything from full-blown recording studios, 3D coding, drones, full access to computer engagement and different things like that. For transparency, I'm the director of a Best Buy Teen Tech Center over at the Capri. I also was the director of the Best Buy Teen Tech Center at Hope Community. Those places are 100% free. Your child can come to those. There's like 3 or 4 over in North Minneapolis now. It's one out in Richfield. It's one over in South Minneapolis. It's about 2 or 3 of them over in St. Paul. So this is a model that Best Buy is putting out there. So just so you guys do know, if your kid is into music and things like that, graphic design, they have full-blown recording studios, et cetera, et cetera. And so again, there's a number of places, as well as the magnificent program that is offered through the summer at Friendship Academy. My daughter last year, she participated in the whole sports component. We tried something different. We didn't necessarily do the Freedom School portion. We did where they were engaging with the different sports activities because, you know, she's always wanted to rip and run. Again, use the summer as a time and opportunity for your kid to be able to try something new and to be able to try something different. The University of Minnesota is also offering these things, free 2-week summer day camp, something around the transportation field through field trips around the Twin Cities. They have a technology day camp, summer computer academy, some of those different things that our kids need to be engaged in. I know we spoke about Minneapolis Public School earlier. Again, there's different options that they're offering for young people. Discovery and Learning Academies, grade K through 5. These are some of the different schools that they're being offered at, et cetera, et cetera. This whole girls and boys engagement through STEM, K through 8, offering different things. Uncover the Wonders of Science, et cetera. They participate in project-based and problem-based learning. Those are things that they can carry on throughout their lives. So again, I can share this out. There's also a virtual STEM academy for folks who want to engage from home or, you know, just want to be able to do other things, but then they also can engage in this. I can share any of this information with all you guys. The point is that now is the time. We can't wait till June. We can't wait till school let out and then try to sign your kid up for something. So the whole point is and purpose is now's the time to start talking about families. As Ms. Buckner was saying about sharing, right? Here's where we need to start sharing information. We need to start encouraging our families. A lot of times people don't want to sign up for things that might entail going after a scholarship. Too much money is left on the table, right? Because we don't sign our kids up because, oh, they want to know about my taxes or they want to know this. Whatever your issue is, you know that's great. But at the end of the day, we're missing opportunities for our kids, right? We're missing opportunities to be able to get our kids into some of these high quality programs because we don't want to fill out the paperwork. And that's another reason why I'm pushing this messaging now is because you do need to sign up for some of these things to be able to get in front of it. Too many times we wait to the last minute, June come, now our kid can't get in anything significant that we want them to get into, and we're on a waiting list and different things like that. And that's just another summer that our kids are X'd out of being, having the ability to participate. So I definitely don't want to go any longer. It looked like we're at 7:10, so I'm gonna stop there.
Okay, what I would like, thank you, Ms. Buckner and Mr. Hopkins. That's a lot of information to process. What I would ask you to do is get a package out to Friendship Academy so that they can go through, whether it's email or whatever, so that we can go through the different programs.
Right.
You know, I would like to personally sign my son up for that Best Buy. You know, he's into filming and editing and coding, all that type of stuff, you know. So, but to let everyone know where to go. And not only like you say, you know, that people don't want to give their information out, it's because they're not educated. because of past experiences, or the ignorance of just not knowing, right? The fear, just
Absolutely.
fear.
Absolutely.
So that's one of the jobs for us to educate and to help them along the process to let them know, no, this is the benefit, your kid, because you get them off the street and that's less worries you have for them getting in trouble or getting a bullet. And that's the reality of what's going on out here right now. We know time is different than when I was growing up, I'm 60 years old, so it's a whole lot different. But I can relate though, because I'm part of the streets and I have a degree at the University of Minnesota. So I know both worlds, right? And that's why I can get in there and mix it up with the kids and meet them at their level. But the programs that you guys are offering, we need to get it out there, and have packages, like when they come to the school and say, hey, by the way, because it stays here if we don't spread it out viral, like you say. The time is now. We don't sign them now, like the Y is saying, hey, this is the last day. Today is the last day to sign up for summer camp. So you're right. The time is now. So, we know our job is to help spread the word. That's part of the community, Ms. Buckner, that you was talking about, is being a part, being proactive. Faith without works is dead. So let's get our kids involved, because it's the community that I was raised with. I couldn't go down the street and holler and scream or curse without I get my butt beat by the neighbor and go home and get one. We know we're in different times now, but at the same time, they will respect your voice if you show them love and you meet them where they at, because love will conquer anything. So with that being said, thank you all for showing up. I know, Miss Lynn, we have a follow-up tomorrow night. So for those of you, know to be on tomorrow night. Once again, thank you for coming here, Ms. Buckner. You shared some powerful information, and bringing your spirit to this platform means a lot, because we can feel your love and your peace. So thanks a lot. And D-Hop.
Before we get off, Mr. Davis, I'd like to also say that I think the information that was presented at the end there and what you guys are talking about getting students into these programs, I think it is important. I think it's great. And I'm wondering if there's, I think you mentioned, Mr. Davis, having packets sent to the school so that it can be put in front of the students. I'm wondering also about communicating with the teachers and asking them to bring it in front of the students. And then also finding ways to connect with the parents as we see them and as we get to know each other better. So I just wanted
Russell
to
say we can do that. He just said in the chat we can do that. So that's awesome. Thank you, Mr. Russell. So yes, that's an excellent idea, Ms. Clevin. As all of us just take charge and get it out, just get the information out, because I'm definitely want to jump on it as tomorrow and see with my son. I know he's in Freedom School, but we might looking at that Best Buy thing, man. that stuck out. Before we get out of here, can you explain? I mean, just what does STEM mean? STEM.
STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math.
Okay.
And so that and so what's important that people really understand about that is the world that our kids is coming up in, and even the world we're in and is in now. Everything is related to STEM in some type of a way. When people talk about STEM, STEAM, etc., it's a way of thinking. It's a way of understanding and all those things. And just for some clarity, they in certain places, they're already asking people on McDonald's applications, how much do you know about STEM engagement? Because it's a way of thinking.
Well, and it's part of blockchain right now. It's about this blockchain thing. Y'all, if y'all don't get afraid of blockchain, because it's gonna be part of your everyday life. I'm telling you, you better learn this stuff, because it's shifting. It's shifting, and it's shifting fast. So with that being said, you guys go ahead and get to your dinner, your bedtime, whatever it is you have to do. Thank you all for being here, and see you all tomorrow. that's going to be there tomorrow. God bless you. Have a good night.
Good night.
Thanks.